Morning. So we've had a breakfast of crumpets, granola, tang fastics, double espresso, ready to hit the road, cycling 11 London stadiums, all in aid of the Newcastle West End Food Bank. So donate if you can, the link is in the description. Starting from our home in North London, heading to the Emirates, and working our way clockwise around London, finishing at Wembley, which takes about 5 hours. Boom, Emirates Stadium, made it. Conditions windy, cloudy, can't believe it hasn't rained. I've still got the short sleeve on. Now we're gonna bomb up Seven Sisters Road and hit Tottenham. What do you think of Tottenham? Just too polite to say the rude word. Interesting cycle up Seven Sisters Road. Got overtaken by a guy on a Boris bike singing REM. But we made it to Tottenham, and next stop is Leyton Orient. Ground number 3, Leyton Orient. Nearly drove past it. Christina thought it was so small. Looks like flats. There is a lot of flats. Must come for a game here. Cracking little club. But yeah, ground 3, Leyton Orient, done. West Ham United. Sun's out finally, still a bit blustery, but here we are at stadium number 4, West Ham, the London Stadium. We've done 29 kilometres. Next stop is, where we go next? Millwall. So that should be an interesting little cycle through East London, over Tower Bridge. But we're doing okay. Last time I was here, Newcastle scored 3 goals. So, bad. We've arrived at Millwall. Here, Chris Towers. Little sign. Millwall logo. Bit of work being done, but yes, we're back at the new den, which is about 25 years old now, the new den. Last time I was here, playoff semi-final 2015. Millwall beat Bradford. Fans and horses on the pitch, the full Millwall experience. Next, Christina. It's the hill to Crystal Palace. Keep the noise down, please. Crystal Palace conquered the big hill, which wasn't so bad. Halfway point. Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, they're not let us in, but that was a long cycle for Crystal Palace. And next, Fulham, 70k mark, 35 to go. Fulham, Johnny Haynes, love the cottage, used to live around here. Happy memories, Rafa's last game, Shelby banging them in. Johnny Haynes stand. A lot of building work going on. Next stop, QPR. Come on, you alls. Loftus Road. Home of Queen's Park Rangers. Christina, ready to go home. One more stadium, then Wembley, then home. Brentford, Griffin Park, home of the Bees. Sadly, I think it's seen its last competitive game. They're moving to a new ground at the end of the summer, but brilliant ground. 4 pubs on the corner. My granddad was a Brentford fan, and I saw Newcastle win here. Dwight Gale scored one at that end. This is ground number 10. Please donate. I think we're almost at the total 500. Raising money for the Newcastle West End Food Bank, putting food on other people's tables. Who said there'd be no Geordies at Wembley this year? Here's one. We did it. Stadium number 11, Wembley Stadium. Christina's somewhere behind me. It's been a grueler, but here she is. We're here on Wembley Way. It's almost dark. Been going for how many hours now? Many hours. 98 kilometres, and we've still got a ride home. We'll make it. A couple more K to go. There you go, challenge completed. 11 London stadiums, 106 kilometres, 722 metres of elevation climbed, and it took us 8.5 hours, not 5.5 hours as I predicted. The idea for the challenge came to me in May, and it was inspired actually by a personal trainer called Bradley Simmons. If you don't know Bradley, he's an ex-footballer. He used to play for Chelsea and QPR, and then he got injured and moved into the personal trainer sector, and he's absolutely smashing it now. He's doing amazing on Instagram, and we've been doing some of his HIIT classes on Instagram during lockdown. And he actually did 10 London stadiums on a bike in May, and we were inspired by that. So during lockdown, he's been raising money for two different charities, the NHS and the mental health charity Calm Zone, and he's literally raised thousands of pounds. And he did 10 London stadiums on a Boris bike with a mate of his, which is like literally insane to think about it. Now that we've done it on a road bike, to do it on a Boris bike is mental. It's only got like 3 speeds and they weigh a ton, and just shows what kind of condition he's in. I enjoyed watching him try that, and I thought, let's have a go at it ourselves. So we put together a route, and we actually added a stadium in. Bradley didn't get to Leyton Orient, so we added Leyton Orient in. I like the idea of cycling around London, visiting different stadiums. So I put a route together for us on Strava. If you don't have Strava and you do a bit of running and cycling, I thoroughly recommend downloading Strava. It's a great app for tracking runs and cycles and swims. And I used it to map our way around London, ticking off all these stadiums. I put a link to the route we did in the description, so if you want to give this a go, have a click on that and you can see exactly the route we took. It was designed to avoid busy roads. There's a lot of busy roads in London, but we try to avoid the seriously busy ones. And we also try to minimise the elevation, so there was 722 metres of elevation, but we managed to avoid major hills, except one up from Millwall to Crystal Palace, which is unavoidable. So we knew we had that to do, and it actually, when we got to it, wasn't that bad. We knew we needed to put some big training miles in on the bike, so I put together a training plan that saw us go out on the bikes about 3 or 4 times a week and just build distances. So we were going from like 20 to 30 kilometre cycles up to 70, 80, 90 Ks by the end of May. And also during this time we went back up to the northeast to visit my family, and we got out on a couple of big rides around Northumberland, which helped build up confidence. And then we just picked a day to go for it when the weather looked dry. My tips, if you want to try a challenge like this, would be to obviously train, and then when you do the ride, pace yourself and eat and drink as much as you can on the way around. I think fueling yourself is absolutely key. Literally on each stop, we would just gulping water, taking on gels, eating sweets and energy bars by the fistful. So if you train and you pace yourself and you fuel correctly, you should be fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, we were hurting by the time we hit Wembley, but the adrenaline on the day also played a big part. Up until the last minute, I wasn't sure if we should be raising money or not. I didn't want to be seen as like shaking people down during what is like a tough time for a lot of people. But there was a lot of challenges floating around and a lot of fundraising stuff. But in the end, I thought, what's the harm in putting a link up? And I had a great cause in mind, the Newcastle West End Food Bank. They usually collect outside St James's Park on Newcastle match days. Obviously, the pandemic's taken away that huge supply line. So I wondered if we could raise about 500 quid for them, which is the amount I paid for my season ticket in Newcastle. So I tweeted the night before we set off that we were going to be doing this and mapped out the route. And then on the day, I did an Instagram story as we ticked off the stadiums. And by the time we got home, we'd hit our £500 target, which was amazing. Then the following day, Biffa, who runs the Newcastle fan site nufc.com, he got hold of the challenge, and he put a link to our fundraising site on Just Giving on his website, nufc.com. Now, if you don't know nufc.com, it's the biggest and longest established Newcastle fan site in the world. And Biffa kindly put a picture of us up and a link, and by the end of the week we'd hit almost 1,300 quid, which was literally insane and tripled our target, and we can't thank people enough for their generosity. It means a huge amount. And I think at the time of filming this, the link is still live, so if you want to add to our total, the link's in the description. Alternatively, If the link's no longer available by the time you watch this, just chuck the Newcastle West End food bank some money. Even though they've lost a matchday supply, they've continued to provide literally tons of food across Newcastle thanks to the generosity of donors. So if we can help them, that's really great. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is early days for my channel, so any likes and subscriptions would be hugely appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.